Story 1. Sleeping for the first half hour, then waking up and sipping coffee while scrolling through Reddit. It would be a pretty short time loop. Story 2. I am hanging out with my mother and serving her a delicious brunch while my cat sits on her lap, purring contentedly. The heating is on, the coffee is good, and I have bought her flowers to tell her she is my original Valentine. Perfection. Story 3. Waiting. Specifically, waiting in costume to start a performance that was supposed to finish an hour and a half ago. I'm starving. Please send help and tacos. Story 4. Please no. I just settled for last night's leftover plain rice out of laziness and to avoid wasting it. I cleaned up and now I am using the restroom. Boring dinner, cleaning, and using the restroom is not how I want to spend forever. Story 5. Eating pistachio cheesecake while watching the shadow strays and painting my toenails seems pretty good. Story 6. I was driving to the gym when a large lifted truck was behind me tailgating. I turned into the gym, which I knew he was not a member of. I didn't park because I thought he was road raging at me. I used the gym parking lot to pretend I made a wrong turn and left, and he took the bait and followed me. Now I was on the highway, going somewhere I didn't need to go. Finally, he got bored and passed me. I went back to the gym and browsed Reddit, trying to calm myself down from being followed. Story 7. Oh no, I would be watching Godless, feeding my dogs, and eating leftover Mexican food. Thank God my hangover headache passed about 90 minutes ago. Story 8. I went to get a haircut, then had a coffee, went to the supermarket, purchased some groceries, and came back home. Story 9. Playing Crash Bandicoot 3 with my wife. I am happy with the time loop I got. Spending time with her is what I enjoy the most. Story 10. Drinking iced coffee and scrolling Reddit, and making jokes about my love life. Actually, this probably isn't too far from the truth. Story 11. My boyfriend comes over on his lunch to help me move my cat's litter box out of a dog cage. We do 2 shots of vodka. Then I watch YouTube. Not too terrible. Story 12. Absolutely. Working on woodworking in the garage. With enough attempts, I can finally get this slot I'm cutting to the right size. Story 13. Lying in bed, scrolling through Reddit and trying to convince myself to get up and work on homework. At least I have my cat with me. Story 14. Sleeping, peeing, making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, trying not to vomit due to pregnancy. It is literally a curse. Story 15. Oh my gosh, yes. I drink coffee and beer and hang out with my girlfriend, playing video games and making food. It's literally my dream. Story 16. Watching a movie about Lorelai Gilmore stuck in a time loop because she has a black hole growing in her chest and wishing I had written this story because the current iteration absolutely does not meet expectations. Story 17. I am surrounded by my 3 closest friends and lovers. We are all having a hair dye party and a sleepover. My fiancé is cooking us cheeseburgers, and my dog is happy. We are all happy. I could live the last hour of my life over and over. I am honestly on cloud 9. Story 18. So I just repeat the past 1 hour over and over? Or is the starting point 1 hour ago? How long do I have before time loops and I go back? Story 19. Oh no, I am having a shower after spending the day digging dirt and trimming my garden. I feel exhausted. Story 20. I'm stuck in a mediocre situation. I've spent the last hour at the shops, wandering and standing in line on a Saturday morning. I just got in, popped the kettle on, sat down and read this. If I relived this hour, I would never get a well-deserved cup of tea. Story 21. Wow, I'm stuck at work, cleaning up my office but never getting to leave. It's frustrating. Not entirely horrible. 2 of the other staff members are people I actually enjoy talking to. Story 22. Dealing with my wife's panic attack. I swear I would rather swim through a river of challenges for the rest of my life. Story 23. Trying to get my dog to go to sleep so I can go to sleep too. He has been up with a tummy ache all night, pacing, whining, and vomiting. He has finally purged everything and has started to settle down. But now there is a severe thunderstorm with lightning and thunder, so he is all riled up again. It is 6 a.m. and I still have not gotten any sleep. Story 24. I'm really not looking forward to cutting my finger, stopping the bleeding, and putting a bandage on it for the rest of my life. Story 25. Ugh. Walking through a snowstorm, eating a kebab, and then getting into the office. They are cleaning the windows next week, and I forgot to take all of my notes off the glass. But hey, since I am not technically working and no one is here, I grabbed a glass of wine from the communal fridge. Story 26. Sleeping for 50 minutes, then browsing Reddit for the last 10 minutes. At least I am going to be well rested. Story 27. So apparently I am never spending any time with my wife since she is in a multi-day mood swing. I guess I have peace and quiet for eternity. I am not doing any shopping since shops are all closed. I guess it is infinite gym, takeaways, and internet access. Story 28. Sleeping, waking up, checking emails, using the restroom, brushing my teeth, making the bed, opening the curtains, and scrolling through Reddit. So exciting. Story 29. I would explore, learn, and help others while trying to break the loop. Eventually, I would focus on self-improvement and making each reset meaningful. Story 30. Honestly, I would perfect my banana bread recipe. I have been trying to nail it for months, and with infinite attempts, I could experiment with different ingredients until it is absolutely perfect. Plus, my apartment would smell amazing forever. Story 31. Well, lying in bed playing a Steam Deck. I guess that's my life now. Also, it's a massively multiplayer online game, so I'm not sure how far that would go for a time loop. Am I experiencing the same party again and again? Story 32. I get about a 15-minute loop. It's just me waking up for 15 minutes and then looping back to sleep. I literally wouldn't have time to accomplish anything before I return to bed unconscious again. Story 33. Eating cookie dough ice cream with my husband while looking at photos of the children when they were small. Sign me up. Story 34. Struggling to figure out dinner for myself and the kids when the stove tripped the safety switch halfway through cooking bolognese. Story 35. I've been on a train for a very long train ride. Hey, at least I splurged for first class, so it is not too bad, I guess. Story 36. I have been on a train for a very long train ride. Hey, at least I splurged for first class, so it is not too bad, I guess. Story 37. Not bad at all. My wife and son came back from school. I had bought pizza for my son. I had coffee and snacks with my wife. I took a bath and am feeling revitalized. Story 38. Working and cleaning, I guess. At least if it is a time loop, no one can stop me from eating stuff off the shelves. Do I still gain weight if it is a time loop? Story 39. Getting ready to go golfing but not quite making it in time. Why couldn't you wait until I was on the tee box to ask this? Infinite mulligans would be a dream come true. Story 40. Eating bacon and eggs with my wonderful partner, being close, and walking our dogs in the snowy woods. I would actually like to be in that hour forever. Story 41. Taking the dogs out to relieve themselves, feeding them, and taking them back out to relieve themselves. Scrolling through Reddit, rinse and repeat. Story 42. Playing hide and seek with my toddler for the first time and hearing him go bananas with excitement. Life is good. Story 43. I took coffee and Pop-Tarts up to bed and had an hour of silly conversation with my wife while the pug cuddled in. Best time loop ever. Story 44. Doing odd jobs for my mother around her house, as she has just had surgery and walking her adorable spaniel. Story 45. Drinking coffee, enjoying incredible voodoo donuts, playing crossword puzzles, reading the newspaper, and looking at Reddit. Story 46. Waking up, taking care of my animals, relaxing, and lounging on the couch watching television while I ate. Not bad. Story 47. Just my luck. I just cleaned out the cat's litter box and took 3 bags of garbage down 3 stairs to the dumpster 150 meters down the driveway. Story 48. Sleep for about 20 minutes, get up and use the bathroom and pet the cat, and then lie back in bed to scroll on my phone. It is super snowy and cold outside. I am also very stressed about needing to get work done. Boring. Story 49. Getting up early on a Saturday, getting ready for work, and shoveling my driveway. This is pretty much what hell will be like. Story 50. Use it to read every book and watch every film and series ever published. Learn every musical instrument, every discipline or new language 1 hour class at a time, thanks to being at home and having the internet available. Story 51. Watching a random show that I thought was just on in the background to pass the time. I would have chosen better if I had known it was going to be in a non-stop loop. Story 52. Wake up, take the dog out, feed the dog, make tea, give the child ADHD medication, take my own medication, change from pajamas to jeans and a sweatshirt, sit on the couch and scroll through Reddit while drinking the tea. I am sure there are a million other little things I did that I forgot to mention. Story 53. Watching the middle hour of the Witcher film repeatedly and considering whether to get a Kentucky Fried Chicken for lunch. Story 54. Sitting at my desk, scrolling through Reddit while my 2 daughters joke and play on the couch near me. There are much worse things than that, I would say. Story 55. Oh my gosh, man. This is actually insane. I am waking up to my son burping in my face, getting the kids in the car, and driving my wife to the doctor in a blizzard. Story 56. That would be unwinding after an outing, going to bring in the dishes that were washed and have dried, then finding this post as I scroll through social media. I guess. Story 57. Waking up, heating up leftover coffee, taking a sip for a bit, waking up my girlfriend for intimacy, succeeding, and it looks like time is up. Story 58. Oh, I would love this Saturday morning loop. Drinking coffee my husband made, eating oranges and yogurt, hanging out with my beloved cat, watching The Mentalist, and scrolling through Reddit. Story 59. Eating a cottage cheese patty and sharing some cham-cham with my mom and sister. Watching some Mr. Beast on TV my sister was watching, I was peeking, and scrolling through shorts and Reddit. Story 60. Well, I won't go hungry. I am going to be sick of eggs, ham, hash browns, and biscuits and gravy though. But relaxing on the computer, eating, and doing whatever isn't so bad. Story 61. Buying some groceries, walking home, cuddling my dogs, replacing a light bulb, making myself a sandwich, and eating that followed by some candy while scrolling through Reddit. Could be worse. Seeing my senior dogs all happy when I get home and then giving them big cuddles for the rest of my life sounds really good, actually. Story 62. Lying in a warm, cozy bed, watching the season 2 finale of Silo. On the downside, my drink is empty and I did not bring any snacks. Story 63. Talking to my boyfriend during his break and procrastinating getting ready for work. So if I put my foot in my trousers now, that's quite funny. I guess I will go get ready. Story 64. Filling out my planner and daily reflection journal. Which is totally fair. I am doing that kind of thing most of the time anyway. I truly wish I could relax. Story 65. Sitting next to my dog on the couch with a cup of coffee while talking with my wife. I am also texting funny photos to my kids and friends. So I am good with that. Story 66. Eating a cream donut and watching Mark get stung by Japanese wasps on Brave Wilderness. The newest Who Culture video. Story 67. Oh, I win. Reading in silence with the whole house asleep and my golden retriever at my feet. Then a power shower, and then into bed with fresh sheets. Story 68. Reading a book and sipping wine. I go to the restroom for a moment and check my phone. I could keep this up for a long time. Story 69. I'm currently sick, so after the first few days, if I am not feeling any better, I will probably just end my own life. Story 70. Honestly, I would probably find a short-term way out. I couldn't find any sort of affiliation with quality of life being stuck in that loop for the next 60 to 70 years of my life. Story 71. I tossed and turned in bed before waking up, scrolling on my phone, and then I used the bathroom. At least it is not a bad time loop. Story 72. Oh my gosh, I am mixing a song. It is good, but if I have to hear the half-mixed version of this forever, I will be jumping off the roof. Story 73. Does the loop repeat even if you die? I am gonna go play Grand Theft Auto real life. See how long I can survive that 6-star wanted level. Story 74. Walking along the beach with my girlfriend and having an amazing experience in our wellness spa hotel room afterwards. Jackpot. Story 75. Scrolling on my phone, sipping a drink, leaning back in my recliner with my cat sitting on my lap. Could be worse. Story 76. Two toddlers woke me up by climbing all over me. One is babbling to himself about Spider-Man, and the other is telling me she is hungry and wants pancakes. I am exhausted, but my wife is sleeping through all of this. I will take the kids downstairs to let her sleep and get them something to eat while I have my coffee. I will happily live in this loop forever. Story 77. Kill me now. My house has been chaotic for the last hour. My children seem determined to do the exact opposite of what they are told. Story 78. Leaving the house, going to the grocery store, and making half my commute to work. At least I am drinking my favorite energy drink. Story 79. Well, this is frustrating. It's me waking up, yelling at my cat, making coffee, then getting annoyed because once again my neighbors have zero consideration for others needing to use the laundry room. They have blankets spread everywhere trying to dry, so once again, I have to wait on them. So it's coffee, cigarettes, and lots of anger, like a tedious version of Bruce Banner and the Hulk. Story 80. Running mail processing machines at the United States Postal Service. At least I have an unlimited supply of coffee. That will get me through. Story 81. Waking up, feeding my cat, taking my morning medications, and giving that same cat morning cuddles while scrolling through Reddit. Not a bad situation. Story 82. It is 5:30 in the morning and I am in bed. I suppose I could get out of bed. But not much is happening in the area where I live. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.